This is the month where forgiveness comes to you from every angle. Not getting forgiveness from Allah in this month means you worked hard not to get the forgiveness from Allah. Every day you get golden moments where your dua is accepted. Every day you get mountains of deeds, only Allah calculates it for you. Every day you fast, you're 70 seasons, 70 years away from hell, if not more. 70, if you finish Ramadan properly, 70 times 30, you got 2,100 years away from hell. Allah gives multiple folds of reward to get you to the high ranks of Jannah. So if you don't get forgiven by Allah, you sure know how to dodge. But you're dodging forgiveness of the Ghafoor. You're avoiding rahmah and mercy pouring at you from every angle. Rahmah and forgiveness you desperately need for blessings in this life, and more importantly, for entry to Jannah.
Let's have some discipline during Ramadan and focus on finishing that Quran. At least, did you guys know, we say we're Salafi. Everybody here says they're following the Sunnah, right? Am I correct? I'm in the right place? Okay, I'm gonna tell you something. Most of the Sahaba finished reading the Quran every 7 days. Most of the Sahaba finished reading the Quran every 7 days. Did you guys understand that? So we say we're going to follow the Sunnah, and this is not in Ramadan. This is normally. This was their normal practice. In Ramadan, it was increased. So if we say we're going to follow the Sunnah, let's follow the Sunnah in this, because we say we're following Quran and Sunnah. But we jump past that a lot of times, and we totally ignore that. Let's try our level best to read the Quran as much as we really can during Ramadan. Let's make that our joint mission, because that's part and parcel of Ramadan, reading the Quran, and see how many times you can finish it, and see the effect that it has by you finishing it over and over again, and reciting it to your child, and having your child read it to you, and these things like that. These are practical things that will make landmark changes in your life. So again, fasting is supposed to have a type of haiba, a type of attitude. You're not supposed to be playing and joking around. Allah's Messenger taught us without Ramadan, man yu'min billahi wal yawm al-akhir falyaqul al-khair aw liyasmut. Whoever believes in Allah on the last day, let him say that which is good, or let him shut up. That's the language. So we see this is not in Ramadan. So it should be more done in Ramadan. We shouldn't be doing a whole bunch of chatty, talking about all types of things.
You have to go through training if you want to get good at something, especially physical training. Like if somebody they want to become a soldier, or they want to become a police officer, then they have to go through certain kinds of training. And their body learns to adapt. Like at the beginning it's hard, and then it gets easier and easier and easier for them, right? And this idea of training, putting yourself in difficulty, it helps you in well, by the way, when you're in training, things are easy. When you're in the training program, things are easy. Like for example, when they train firemen, they set up a fire to put it out, but they control the fire. It's not like a real fire in a building. It's controlled, so it's easier. They make you jump down a building, but it's easier. It's not like the real thing. They go easy on you, and then when you get good enough, then they put you in the real life situation. You understand that, right? Now the same thing happens with fasting. Fasting, you're constantly feeling something, aren't you? Constantly feeling thirst. You're constantly feeling hunger. There is not a minute that goes by that you're not feeling it. Your throat is fighting with you. Your lungs are fighting with you. Your throat is yelling at you and saying, give me water, give me water, give me water. Whether you like it or not, there's a war going on inside you when you're fasting. There's a war, physical war going on inside you. Your throat is against you. Your stomach is against you. Your body is getting weaker and begging you, please disobey Allah, please disobey Allah. And you stay the entire day fasting, fighting your body, and you say, no, my heart is submitted to Allah, and therefore I don't care if my entire body wants something, I will not give it to it. You train your heart to control your body. That's what you do when you fast. Why is that important? Because when the fasting is over, you have to continue to train now your heart is ready to control your body. So you're not just going to eat what you want. You're not just going to go where you want. You're not just going to look at what you want. Because all of those things your body wants. But who has gotten stronger when you fast? The body got weaker, and who got stronger? The heart got stronger. And where does taqwa rest? Inna dhalika min taqwa al-qulub. The heart is the place of taqwa. When you give your body the weakness and you give your heart the strength, you train yourself to stop yourself from other things. So my dear young brother, the young guys that are here, if you're fasting, staying at home and watching movies, you're not fasting. You're not fasting. Because your heart is still giving in to the wrong temptations. The entire exercise of fasting is you constantly remember, yeah, just like I'm fighting my stomach, just like I'm fighting my throat, I gotta fight my eyes. I gotta fight my mouth. I gotta fight my tongue. I gotta fight my desires. I gotta fight my hormones. I have a fight with everything now. The thing we see is the drinking and the eating. But everything else, fasting is your training for real life. And by the way, I told you when training goes on, then it's easier. Controlled fire, controlled situations. What does Allah do? Does Allah make fasting in Ramadan easier? Does He cage up shaitan? Does He put the shaitan away? He does, doesn't He? He's going easy on you. So your heart can get a chance to train and get better without being in the battlefield. The second Ramadan is over, Eid Mubarak, guess what? Shaitan is out. And the war begins. And all of that training will now come in handy. But if you didn't train yourself properly, look, just to help the younger guys here, this is for the younger guys especially. If a guy wants to join the army, he has to go through physical training. So they make the guy jump over a wall or climb a wall and go on the other side. So two guys join the military. One of them jumps over the wall, the other one goes around the wall. They both got to the other side. You have to do it 10 times. One guy jumps over it 10 times, the other guy walks over it 10 times. Right? Now when they're on the battlefield and they have to go over a wall, who's going to go and who's going to fail? You understand? They both can say, I did it, I made it to the finish line. Well, that's what you wanted, to reach the finish line. I did it. You will fast and your brother will fast, but your fasting will not be the same. It won't be the same. There's the guy who applied himself and actually trained himself, and the guy who didn't train himself, they're not going to get the same results.
The month of Ramadan where the Quran was sent down, they follow in the footsteps of the Prophet ﷺ, who used to recite more of the Quran during Ramadan. And the footsteps of the scholars of Islam, who would stop teaching during the month of Ramadan just to focus on reciting the Quran. My dear brothers in Islam, as we focus on the preparation for this month, we focus on we're about to enter into the month of Ramadan. We need to remind ourselves. We need to remind ourselves that there's no guarantee that we're actually going to enter into Ramadan this year. We could go out today or tomorrow and not enter into Ramadan. But, inshallah ta'ala, through our intention, we intend to benefit from this Ramadan. We're preparing. We're excited about this Ramadan. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if we were to die before Ramadan, He'll give us the reward for what we intended, inshallah. And we need to remind ourselves as well that this Ramadan, if we're blessed to enter into Ramadan and to fast it all, inshallah, that it could be our last Ramadan. How many people do you know, or that you've heard about, who are now 6 feet deep under the dirt? They were with us last Ramadan, but they're not with us this year. You need to focus on that. Remind yourself, take full advantage of this Ramadan. Preparation, preparation, preparation is the key. Prepare yourself. Think about it mentally. What do you want to do? Write it down. Put out your goals. Say, this month, this Ramadan, I'm going to do this and this. I'm going to read this much of the Quran. I'm going to do this many good deeds. I'm going to go for Umrah. I'm going to visit sick people. Whatever type of good deeds you want to do. I'm going to give more sadaqah. Every time I see a worker on the street, I'm going to give him 5 riyals. I'm going to give sadaqah to send it to Syria, to anywhere else to the people in need. I'm going to give this much money of sadaqah during the month. I'm going to pray Taraweeh every night. I'm going to wake up early and read more Quran during the night. Whatever your plans are, write it down. Have goals. And be careful of the trap of shaitan that so many Muslims follow into. Because Ramadan, it's 30 days or 29 days. So it's just like a marathon. You don't sprint when you run a marathon. If you want to finish the marathon, you have to have a steady pace all the way through. Too many Muslims, what they do when it comes time for Ramadan, they fly into the month, so excited. Do so many good deeds. But unfortunately, they die down at the end, towards the middle. But don't forget, that night that is better than 1,000 months, it's in the last 10 days. So make sure you start off on a steady pace and you finish on a steady pace. Prepare yourself for what's going to come, inshallah ta'ala. And Allah knows best.